What's going on, you guys? Welcome to the Rotation Podcast. I'm your host, A.Cain, and today I brought back my brother, Dev
What
Ramos.
up? What up?
There's a whole lot of things going on, and this is like a straight, current, up to date podcast. I'm gonna release this tonight,
Hell yeah.
especially with all that's going on. Like, I also want to help the different topics we're bringing up today. I kind of want to be like almost like a really some breath of fresh air,
Like a relief.
like a relief. No, really, yeah, like a relief because there's so much going on, and we'll get to all that later. Nam's in the room with us, reporting live from Mad Studio amidst a nationwide, probably worldwide lockdown was just dropped. My mom called me already, telling me like fucking I shouldn't even be here right now.
Yeah.
Telling me I need to go home, but I mean like if I went home, I honestly think I would, and you just talked about it right now. You just be like looking at your phone and
Yeah.
just play journalists all day. And
You gotta do shit. Because I'm a teacher, you
Yeah.
know. So I've been home all week since Monday, but even taking it back from 2 weeks ago when like Trump announced there was no travel from Europe, no travel to Europe.
Yeah.
And as soon as I saw that, I was like kind of already hooked to the news, you know. I kind of already knew in my mind, I'm like, all right, maybe I need to start getting some food together. So, I did the Walmart grocery. I just ordered a bunch of food. And, but ever since then, I've just been kind of like looking at the news till Monday. I'm like, fuck, all right. I know what it's like to be on summer break. I already know I kind of drive myself crazy because I'm not doing whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
But I go, all right, I'm gonna start making a schedule because I'm a very unorganized person.
Yeah.
I've gotten this far in my life being unorganized, and I kind of pride myself on that.
and you own up to it.
Right, but if I just have if I have no job to do at home, if I have nothing to do at home, I need some kind of structure.
Yeah.
So I started making like a little daily planner. All right, this is what I'm gonna do at this time. Even if I don't get to it, it's not a big deal. At least I know I did like 75% of it.
Yeah.
You know? And just little stuff like, all right, I'm going to go clean the bathroom. All right, I'm going to go paint this cabinet. I'm going to go do this. I'm going to go do that. So by, 3 o'clock, I'm just going to take a nap.
Yeah, I'm just going to chill. Yeah, I already put that work in. I'm chilling now.
But, like you said, this is kind of like a good opportunity to get some, like, relief to say, like, all right, like, all these big stories are covering up, PS5, PS5 specs. I think that was shadowed. Like, a lot of people, had this not been going on, people would have been hyped.
Yeah. People would have. I felt like that would have been the trending topic, honestly, because it's crazy how I knew the specs were released, but completely like put that shit to the side, amidst of all the other shit.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's going on. You know what I mean? The shit that's like, it's kind of distracting you from like just like your everyday shit that makes you happy.
Right,
you know what I
exactly,
mean?
yeah.
The shit that really like gets you going. The shit you're looking forward to do. So I mean, we're gonna dive into PS4 specs right now, actually. And again, I want to shout out Dev for being on this episode. What I want to get in real quick, I just wanted to shout out the NFL players for actually saying to me, like, fuck the owners. NFL free agency is still going on. It's still hot. The last year was insane. This year's even bigger. And what I want to shout the NFL players for doing again, saying fuck the owners, but taking those 3-year, $30 million deals and getting the guaranteed money because NFL is a violent sport. You got the Aaron Hernandez story that came out, and every day you're hearing something about concussions and how it affects the brain.
Right.
Every day more NFL players are retiring earlier. Like Luke Kuechly, it's crazy. I watched this guy get drafted, go to the combine and get drafted and be a Pro Bowler, one of the best linebackers ever, in just like a 8-year span. He's already retiring.
I'm out.
He's out of here. You know what I mean? So like, the NFL players saying, I'm going to go get this money, and on top of getting this money, taking this 3-year, $30 million deal, taking the 5-year, $50 deal, which usually would never happen. It's usually, when you're in the football, you get 5 years and it's $20 million.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like, I want $50 million. You know what I mean? And on top of that, I want the guaranteed money with the incentives. Like, if I get the team to the playoffs, which has always been in contracts, but like, they're asking for it now instead of a team saying, hey, guess what? If you get us to the playoffs, with they're saying like, when I take you guys to the playoffs, when I want this, and I want my family set up this way, and I'm bringing my whole family. Like, since you guys want structure around me, and you guys, I'm gonna bring my whole family's gonna stay in this block of Dallas or wherever the case may be. So, and with social media and everything like that, and players like, having the ability to talk to their fans and like display their frustrations and stuff like that, you could tell that was gonna happen. That's one of the good things. Most people like, there's so many things about social media you don't like about it, and gets distracting, whether good or bad, whatever. It allowed to give a lot of people a voice, and it allowed for NFL players who a lot of sports fans know they always got the short end of the stick. They have a hard cap. The owners don't budge. They want all the money. The NFL is a shield. It's a logo. They own a. They basically have a holiday.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Without calling it one, but we don't. People get days off and spend money at grocery stores and on Super Bowl. You know what I mean? So for the players to actually be like, look, we're risking our lives for the biggest sport in the world. We shut down every Sunday. In the world, we shut down a whole day.
Oh, yeah.
People are at bars buying beer and Bud Light and Miller Lite. What you guys
Chips
want?
and shit, yeah.
We know there's money. Where is it? We want it. You know what I mean? So I want to shout the NFL players for that. And then we're going to go quickly from that. I'm actually going to have an episode with Jeff on here, and he's going to break down the free agents who went there and all that stuff. But we got to get to these specs.
Hell yeah.
We got to get to these specs. If you guys don't know, which you probably don't, because not even I myself knew, the Xbox specs and the PlayStation 5 specs were released. There's already a comparison side by side. I saw it on Instagram.
So let's see.
Shit got me so hyped. Just because, again, this episode is so current, so you're going to hear us say, like, in the midst of all this, what's going on, all the shit going on. This was nice to see, like, all right, fuck. Some normality, you know what I mean?
Right.
Some of what I'm used to.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So, like, Dev's bringing up the specs right now.
So both are projected at Holiday 2020 now. In the midst of all this, who knows if it'll be pushed back.
Correct.
Microchips still got to be shipped from this place
Correct.
and that place.
Correct.
Manufacturing. So, Holiday 2020.
Oh,
but
man.
as far as they both have a disk drive, right? Capable of playing 100 gigabyte optical disc and 4K Blu-ray, both of them.
Both of them.
Both are 4K. Both have 8K support. They're both coming with, the PS5 has a solid state drive capacity to be announced, and the new generation SSD, I don't know what the difference would be as far as that goes. Let's see. So, as of now, the Xbox has, let's see, I don't know if this is an old one.
No, it's fine. No,
as of now, this is is going to have, it doesn't quite say how much RAM. That's what I'm saying. I don't know if this is an old one.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
Backwards compatibility for PS4 games and PSVR as far as PS5 goes. And they're going to have streaming
People have
services.
been copping VRs lately, too.
Yeah.
Just a side note.
Well, 2 was that Half-Life Alyx coming out.
Yeah.
So that's a big reason a lot of people just like...
Because they feel like that. They feel like that Half-Life might really be the VR experience we've been waiting for.
Exactly.
Like, this is it.
Okay, so memory-wise, the PS5 has 16 gigabytes of RAM. Which, comparing that, like we were kind of talking before the podcast, when the 360 came out, it was comparable to a lot of PCs.
Exactly.
And it could hold its own.
And it's, when you stood up the 360, it looked like a mini tower.
Right.
With that hard drive just right up at the top.
Right.
You know what I mean? It looked like a tower.
Yeah.
Like just like, what is this? You know what I mean?
The Xbox Series X has 16 gigabytes of RAM. Let's see.
A terabyte.
The Xbox Series S has a terabyte of storage.
And I don't think the PS5 does have a terabyte of storage.
It has 825 gigabytes storage.
Which is a lot, but it ain't a terabyte.
Hold up. Let me put my thing on the side here.
It's showing like a little chart.
Yeah, it's showing a chart. You know, you go to some websites.
That might have been what I saw.
Kind of fucks up here. All right, so you got 4K support for both, 8K support for both, HDR support for both.
Yeah.
They didn't announce like what kind of ports it's going to have. The PS5 going to be up to 10.28 teraflops, and the Xbox Series X at 12 teraflops. The processor is an AMD Zen 2, an 8-core processor. Xbox Series X has the same AMD Zen 2 8-core processor at a little higher, 3.8 gigahertz, compared to PS5's 3.5.
I know when these companies, when these multi-billion trillion dollar companies go and making these systems, whether it's Nintendo, Sony, Microsoft, they're going with the intentions to make the strongest machine that they could make. I feel like Xbox just wanted to make the strongest machine ever.
Right. Right.
You know what I mean? Like, they're dumping all kinds of shit into this Xbox.
And I would say right now, Windows is in a place where
they're in a good space right now.
Microsoft is in a place, because I think as of the last 5 years, competitively, the things they've been releasing, like when you compare them to like Apple, right? They've always had like the products that were like, man, this is like just a nice machine.
Yeah.
They've been releasing things with that in mind and just sort of the user in mind. Like, look, you can still customize some shit.
Yeah.
And they've actually put themselves back like in the mix.
In the
People
top.
were like writing them off since like Windows Vista
Yeah.
was coming out. Yeah, you know, so it was like, you know, why the fuck am I going to buy a Microsoft machine, especially when the Xbox One came out, and people were like, all right, like is it a gaming machine or is like,
yeah,
are you guys like
what is it?
To this day, I can't really say like, oh, okay, I would go buy an Xbox for this.
And that's not good.
Yeah.
Because I've never had the urge, and there's been plenty of times where I could have just went into a store and like copped an Xbox, just the same way how I copped the PS4 before, same way I've copped the 360 before, and the GameCube, just had multiple systems. I didn't feel like that about the Xbox One.
Yeah.
Never was just like, you know, I'm gonna get an Xbox One like with like 3 games, because I've done that before in the past, like with systems.
Mm-hmm.
I had no urge at all. So I feel like this time around, it's like we're gaming. Felt like guys and girls, we're gaming.
Yeah.
Fuck all this shit. This is video games on the highest level.
Yeah.
That's what we're gonna give you guys. No game. We're not playing anymore.
Right.
And I felt like we talked about it before, like precast. That's what we felt like the 360 was like, yo.
Mm-hmm.
This feels like I'm supposed to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like I'm supposed to be just. It's a gaming machine built for gaming.
When that controller came out for the 360, people were like, I remember they showed it on G4, and people really hadn't played with it unless you were like at E3 that year.
Yeah.
But people were like, man, this is like one of the most comfortable controllers I've ever felt.
Yeah.
And they had thrown everything into the design for gaming. Just straight gaming.
Just for gaming.
And like even the blade system on the home screen, like it was just very like easy to use. There wasn't a bunch of like bloat on there. They like distracted you from what you wanted to do. Yeah, you had your homies. You could send little messages to people, and that was it. That was good.
Yeah.
You know, now it's like things are the technology got so far advanced. It was like, all right, let's just throw this in there, and it's like it wasn't necessary. It wasn't a necessity to the system itself.
Exactly. It's kind of because like when I first got a hold of my Xbox, I got my Xbox and it came with the Sonic game, I believe. It came with like the Sonic game, and it was something else. I don't remember what game. Like a game on there, just downloadable. Like, and like when you hook it up and you get that controller. When I got the controller in my hand, I was like, yo, like I don't know if I'm gonna have any time for like the PS3. You know what I mean? Like it was like when I go to GameStop, or like I'm gonna have a hard time. Like, am I gonna get 2K for my 360? Mm-hmm. And that's crazy. That's what I end up doing. The only sports game I had on my PS3 was like Madden, the football game. But like, I would still get Madden on my 360 and like 2K live. I didn't really play live on it like when it came out on the 360. But like 2K was on my 360. My shooting games were on my 360. Right. You know, my one player games were on my PS3 because they had the God of Wars and the Drake's Uncharted. But like my shooting games and my fighting games were on the 360. My Street Fighter 3, Super Ultra Street Fighter 3, or Marvel was on the 360. Yeah. So like, and those are and first person shooters and fighting games are like gamer games. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? If you play a first person shooter and fighting game, like, oh, you're a gamer, huh? You play fighting. Mm-hmm. No one plays fighting games no more. Like, you know what I'm saying? No one really plays first person shooters unless it's like a you're online, but you're a gamer,
Right.
an online
Right.
gamer. So like, I feel like what Xbox is doing now, just like, all right, man, like we're gonna be in the conversation for sure.
For sure, yeah.
Undeniably, you cannot just like set us aside and just be like we're the little brother. Like
Well,
we're coming for
at this point, they have to, because given the situation of today, since everything started going on lockdown, when you as a council are being competed against, like seriously competed against PC, where as of the other day they had statistically 20 million concurrent users playing on Steam. That's a PC platform.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Now I know people are at home right now, but you got to figure those 20 million people have PC Steam accounts.
Yeah.
You know, how many in comparison? How many can you say that are on Xbox right now playing whatever the fuck they're playing online? You know, maybe they're playing something, right? They got Fortnite, they got all these other things to play. Call of Duty, what's it called? Just came out.
Warzone.
Warzone just came out, so they got things to play. But at the same time, what are they playing on? Are they playing on PlayStation or are they playing on a PC?
On a PC.
You know.
Yeah.
And when it comes down to it, you know, those who are really savvy to it are thinking, you know, hey, maybe I could just put together something from a PC.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Even my first inclination, I updated my PC in
Yeah,
October.
I was gonna say you have a PC.
I was like, all right, what do I need? I already have the tower. What do I need to just kind of get myself back up and running into the PC world again?
Yeah.
And I priced it all out. It cost me maybe like $500, and I already had games on it. You know.
Yeah,
so
you were already set.
Yeah.
You already. So what did you have to fix? What did you have to do for your PC to get back on run? Because again, you had a PC.
I just put in like a new. I ended up getting just. I kind of there's this site called PC Part Picker, and you could put together just different components. And I was like, all right, what can I buy that's used? What can I cop from eBay? Somebody that maybe bought something earlier this year. They don't want it.
They don't want it anymore. Yeah.
You know, they upgraded real quick. So I was like, all right, let me get this. I got a new graphics card. I got the motherboard that'll kind of house that better. I put in 16 gigabytes of RAM. You know, a new hard drive and solid state drive. Just stuff that's gonna bring me up to speed. If I want to do VR, like I could do VR. You know. And just I made those little upgrades, and I think really the thing that cost me the most was probably the motherboard. You know,
okay.
You know, alongside everything, but it really wasn't much in comparison to everything else. You know, just I mean, maybe by like $50. You know?
Yeah, but your experience with PC has always been like, it's always been good, right?
Now this was my first time putting this together myself, and
Gotcha.
I did hit speed bumps, and that I know those speed bumps are like what turns people off to it, because I know myself, I'm like, damn, I fucked it up. I don't know how to fix it. And I had to call Poncho.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh shit, yeah, because Poncho's a huge, avid PC gamer. Like before it was even.
And he helped me put together my last system. I'm like, look, I'm trying to put together. Here's my components. Like, what am I fucking up on? And he's like, you probably just got a bad unit. Like, just send it back. So I sent it back. Next one didn't work. Send it back. Finally, I got one that worked, because they're just like put together so, you know, willy nilly.
Yeah. You
don't know what you're gonna get. Eventually, one just works.
One works.
Right. And so now it's like, it's nice. Like, it's clean inside. Like, they just came out with like an updated version for Half-Life 1, which was like put together by like a small team, like as like a passion project. And like graphically, it's like it's not super comparable to today's graphics, but it's at a point where, you know, someone that's just turned 20 years old, who's used to graphics on a PS4
wouldn't even
play that game that I played when I was, you know, 12 years old.
Yeah.
So it's like they got things, and then they got, you know, Half-Life Alyx coming out. Like, these are all, you know, they got which was kind of huge, was what was that game? Death Stranding. And Horizon Zero Dawn are both coming to PC, which were at first PS4 exclusives.
That's what I'm playing on my PS4 now.
Which one?
Horizon Zero Dawn.
So it's like they're coming to PC, and it's like, okay, people are like, hey, you know, I already got a PC, now I could just cop this.
Let me tell you something. But I had that game, Horizon Zero Dawn. I bought it off PlayStation. Just a quick story. Just how you should always just appreciate shit. I got that game on PlayStation Store. I was deciding between that or God of War. I had borrowed God of War from Chad, a friend of mine. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna get God of War. and that was a toss up between Horizon Zero Dawn and God of War. They had the Game of the Year shit up there, and I was like, okay. And I got Horizon Zero Dawn, and then like right when I got Horizon Zero Dawn, Star Wars came out. And again, Horizon Zero Dawn has been out. I just haven't played it. Heard all these great things about it, just haven't played it. And I had enough room on my PS4, way more than enough room. I could have easily kept it. But I was thinking like, oh, like Star Wars is going to come out with all these DLCs and just the same way how Spider-Man did. But they end up not coming out with anything, really. It's like one downloadable pack on Star Wars just to get, it's nothing crazy. So I deleted Horizon Zero Dawn, but it was just a quick $14 game. I wasn't really tripping. I was like, I'll be able to re-download it and everything. Just play Star Wars, whatever. And then my friend of mine, my shout to Terry, she just bought a hat. My coworker Terry was like, yo, I got the game, I got Horizon Zero Dawn. Do you want to borrow it? Mm-hmm. I was like, yeah, I'm going to borrow the physical disc. Like, I want to borrow the disc. You know, I want to install it on my PS4. And I gave it. I let it download for a day. I didn't play it as soon as I downloaded it. I was playing, like, other shit. And then I was like, you know, man, I'm off on Saturday. I'm going to play Horizon Zero Dawn. Fuck it. Let me just dive in. I'm not going to skip none of the story. I'm just going to watch everything. And I was like, oh, my God, this shit's fucking amazing. Yeah. And I'm getting into the story. And, you know, it has each choice you make makes a... You play those games and you're just like... Sometimes you feel like, no, I don't feel like that choice really affected this outcome. You know what I mean? But I'm just like, oh, my God, this shit's affecting every outcome right now. So, Horizon Zero Dawn is like get it as soon as you can when it comes on. It's an amazing game. I'm on it right now. I don't even do missions. All I do is just hunt and collect. So I'm getting shit that some people don't have that I saw like on YouTube don't even have yet at the level I'm at. They're just like, they're responding back to my comments like, oh, if I would have had that at level 21, dog, like I would have been. You're on the right track. Like, you're good. So I'm just like, all right, you know, it's one of those games you're just like, I'm gonna ask for opinion and some help just to make sure I'm on the right track because there's so many pathways. You know what I mean? It's a huge map. So yeah, shout out to Horizon Zero Dawn. That was just my quick appreciation gamer story.
By the way, one thing I did read that you did bring up Spider-Man as DLC. Insomniac, it was this rumor. I don't know. Some people were kind of criticizing the article, but they were saying that in the next Spider-Man, we're supposed to have Venom in it.
Oh wow!
And I forgot who else. There was a couple other like names that they had dropped for it, but
fuck yeah!
But they did. It was like I said. It was just rumor. They were saying that they should be done by 2021.
Oh yeah.
So I mean that to me
for sure. What Spider-Man did for me, bro, was like made me believe in gaming again. Mm-hmm. Like I'm being so serious because it was so much. I'm critical. I'm a critical of. We could all dive into stories on how much we love games. That's why we're friends.
Right.
It's because we relate on this, especially in particular. You know. We come from an era when you had so many good games at once. Yeah. And it wasn't just due to you being younger and not having... No, these are good games.
Solid games.
These are games like... I have PlayStation Now. Mm-hmm. I never thought I would ever play for a PlayStation Now subscription, $9.99 a month. But I'm playing Vanquish all over again. I'm playing Shadow of Colossus all over again. I'm playing Sly Cooper all over. Because I'm like, these were fucking incredible games. Jak and Daxter 3 all over again. I'm just beasting like... I'm a 30-year-old gamer knowing how to fly through Jak and Daxter. This shit's a piece of cake. We had good games, bro. Now it's different. We talked about it plenty of times. Like, it's like a step down. It's like really, it's almost like movies. It's only like 2-3 good games a year.
Right.
4 maybe if you're lucky. You know what I mean? But like, what Spider-Man did for me is like, I was just like, man, like, it sucks it has to be the same company that gives a fuck. They remind us all the time, like, oh, we give a fuck about games. Like, we make great games.
Right.
But what even they did for me was, like, they had DLCs ready. And they weren't just on top of getting costumes and upgrades, like, every week. Like, we're going to give you guys a whole other story mode on the top of the shit you just played. What? And it's a story mode with new costumes and... Oh, and on top of that, here goes another one. Boom! It's like, my... More costumes, more upgrades, a whole
and they just dropped it on you like that.
And here goes a third one. But you're just like, oh, God, I can't even take this shit. You know what I mean? Like, Spider-Man was such a it was a game with such high expectations that everyone was like, because it was one of it could suck. They're showing it. They're showing it. It looks incredible. Like it's Spider-Man with Arkham City's like fighting system and like oh, it's a dream in heaven. But it could suck though. They could find a way for it to just to be a piece of shit. And the fact that it wasn't, and the fact that they gave you all this shit at a like most season passes you get for online games, they're pretty expensive. I'm not online games, but like for games that come with the whole, they're pretty they're pretty pricey. I remember Destiny one was like almost like fucking $79 when I was on the tripping. $24. You get 3 whole new story modes and like 50 costumes and all. The fact if they come back 2021 with like, I don't. It should just
going hard.
Just going hard, bro. Shout to them.
So
Shout to Insomniac.
I did not get a chance to play the DLC for it, and I have it.
You do.
I do,
you
and
do
I just
have
haven't played it.
You have it.
And it's to me, but just like you said, like it just brought me back into games.
Yeah, it really did. Like, and it's crazy. Like I like whoever listens to this podcast, like, cause it's gonna sprinkle through its way through the internet and shit. They're gonna like, you're not a gamer, dog. You just played Horizon Zero Dawn. Like, I understand that. Like, don't get me wrong, I understand that. Like, yeah, you know what I mean. I beat myself up the first night. Like, how the fuck did I just delete this game like that? Like, for no reason. You know what I mean? Like why did I do that? But like sometimes you just get distracted by other shit. I was playing Spider-Man in the midst of like all that shit too, along with Star Wars and shit like that. You know what I mean? Like, I just kind of just like, yeah, it's a game of the year. I'll get around to playing it. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, it's kind of better. I mean, we are in a time of gaming where, and I think Steam had set this precedent, is where, because when I first got my PC with current specs, I've always had a computer. Right?
Yeah.
But when I got my PC that I built, Steam was at a point where they were just kind of throwing games at you.
Yeah.
You could get BioShock and play it at the top graphics for, all 3 of them.
Yeah.
And for $7 on a sale. Like, that was like unheard of. And it was digital.
Yeah.
Even now if you go on the PS4 into the store and you look at BioShock, you'll probably pay up from like $30 to $50. And that's digital.
Yeah, that's digital. That's a straight digital
copy.
copy.
And now we're coming to a point where it's like even PlayStation's becoming savvy to it. It's like, all right, let's have this little spring sale and let's just throw like BioShock, let's throw Street Fighter 5, let's throw, the last Call of, let's throw it at them for like $10, $15.
Seriously.
And that is kind of like the era of gaming that we came up in, where it was like, where you would walk in Target and your mom and dad said, all right, you could have one game.
Yeah, you're just oh fuck.
And then Sony had on the rack, they had the greatest hits. And then they were showing you, how much is this?
Yeah.
Every now and then you would ask, well, how much is this? And you would say, oh, $20. And every now and then you would get lucky, like, all right, well, you get 2,
Yeah.
And you would come home with 2 of the greatest hits.
When that greatest hits bin hit, because again, we were about that age where it would either be in a glass casing or it might be in like a bucket, like a little barrel in the middle of the gaming electronic aisle. It's like, yo, I could get 3 games for the price of. And I remember my mom and dad like, there's no way you're gonna get 3 of the games you want for fucking $20.
Yep.
I'm just like, yeah, I haven't played fucking this, that, and that, and they're all $20 each. And they're just like, oh, well, fuck it, well, yeah, get 2, get 3. If I'm gonna get 3 games, like, now you got 3 games, you gotta bug me for 3 months. You know what I mean? Like, go ahead, pick whatever the fuck you want. Like you said, that's that era game. But then there were good games in that bin, in that bucket. You know what I mean? Like, and again, I just feel like, gaming had to take that turn where it's just like, everyone are putting it all in this one massive game, like, so less games are coming. I don't know what was going on, but maybe we might be going to that, that era again, or that time again where it's like, oh, there's like 3, 5 good.
I would rather a company spend all their efforts into a game that they're like, look, this game is 6 to 10 hours long.
Yeah.
Right? Depending, you go back and get all the extras.
Yeah.
Right? It's going to be about 10 hours you play it. Then a game that's, super huge. And you're always going to have those games that are just
super huge.
Huge, right?
Huge.
A bunch of shit for you to do. Red Dead's like that.
Horizon's like that.
Horizon's like that. And you could spend easily 50 to 100 hours in it.
Yeah.
But I would rather have 10 of those games that are like 8 to 10 hours long and you're like, damn, that was like just a dope experience. I'm gonna go back and just play that real quick.
Yeah. Then the massive map,
Right.
fucking 50-hour games.
Right.
You know what I mean? 50 to 100-hour games. I know I agree with that because the way how I play, because those games are typically usually one-player action games, you know, platform games. You know what I mean? Like, so that's my avenue anyway, as far as like in gaming. Like,
Right.
I play those games. I would, because that's what I liked about Drake's Uncharted.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, because it was one of those games where like, oh, it's a shooter. It's like a shoot 'em up. If you really, I watch people play Drake Uncharted online, like the way I played it. I just ran through the levels. It's just shoot 'em up, duck, shoot 'em up.
Right.
And there were dudes who played out, and you know, people like, why don't you duck behind the wall and like take your time and take them out? It's like you could play it like that too.
Yeah.
Or you could just like,
Right,
you know, it's made by the people. You know, it's made by the people who made Crash Bandicoot. So what's up? They have that. As well, just play the game.
Right.
Just fucking run through it, climb up shit, shoot people up, and like slide back down and just go.
Right.
Beat the game. You come. So like, if games have like what you said with that 8-hour, 6 to 10 hour, mixed with like, oh, and if you also want to go back, you can though.
Yeah.
Because there's like treasure and shit to get. You know, it's like in Drake's Uncharted, collecting the treasure don't give you an upgrade. It's just like you get to rotate it with the analog stick. Like, oh, I found a fucking treasure. You know what I mean? It's just something else to do. So I would prefer those games. I feel like that's what God of War also did too. It's like, oh, go through it, hack and slash, but there'll be a puzzle here and there.
That's kind of how Doom, like the makers of Doom, are making it. They're like, they want you to jump in that game, and they're like, don't think too much. Like, we want, like, there's little things you could do that, you know, you might be able to kill this enemy a certain way, and it might set off an event to do it, but you could also just shoot him in the fucking head.
Yeah, just keep going.
Yeah, but and it's just they're so in the action that it's like, okay, you really don't have to think too much, and it's gratifying. They built that game around. All right, like if you tear a fucking monster's limbs off, it's going to be just as gratifying as if you just shot him from 50 feet away.
And that's a new Doom. That's a new Doom.
That's a new Doom. Yeah.
You have it?
Not yet. I'm thinking of getting it.
You're thinking of getting it though, because I was even thinking about getting it too. Like I was thinking about getting that and the Devil May Cry. Like I have the Devil May Cry 3-pack, and I'm just a sucker for like Devil May Cry, and I'm just like, oh, it's on sale for $25. Like, I'll beat some Devil May Cries again. You know what I mean? So I'm thinking about getting that. But what kind of games do you think are missing from today's? You know, is it just more of those 6 to 10 hour games?
I think they need more casual sport games. I mean, I think right now even sports games are in kind of a weird place because every time I even think about, well, do I want to play NBA 2K, I always see like a bunch of different responses, like where they'll say it's not a bad game, but it's like you really have to, you got to do this, you got to download this for it, you got to download that, you got to spend some money. It's like they need those more casual sports games like NBA Street was coming out.
Yeah.
You had Tony Hawk's Pro Skater coming out. You had even MLB The Show was like a good franchise up to a certain point.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if people
now you got to spend money on that shit.
Right. And it's like I want to see more casual sports games to where someone like even me who doesn't really watch that much sports could have a good time playing those games.
I think there's like very few, like you said, like part obviously why you chose that genre of games. But like there was a game that was free on PlayStation Network a couple months ago called Steep. And that was like it's like action sports, like it's hang gliding and fucking snowboarding and downhill biking and shit, like extreme sports. Right, you know what I mean? Right. Like people put on the flight suits and shit like that. Like you can just go in that game and play. You just go in that game and like and ski and snowboard and fucking do all that, like downhill biking. Like you can do that, and it's really just. You know, you just play the game. Right, you know what I mean? Like, and it's like also a game like called MotorStorm 2. It's like just dirt bike, dune buggy, fucking, like rally car racing and shit like that. So it's like and again, like how you said people were like writing the comments about 2K. There's really only 2K is the only really basketball game out there. Yeah. You know what I mean? And then like Madden is the only NFL game out there. You know, like 2K just announced that they got the NFL license back, but we don't even know the details. Like, do you guys have the license to make a game, or are you guys just kind of just integrating yourselves like in the NFL brand as far as like hosting events? You guys are allowed to host events now You know what I mean? Or you guys gonna make games? We don't even know. We don't
Right,
even
right.
know what those details entail. You know what I mean? But if it's not Madden or 2K, it's FIFA.
Yeah.
You know, it's like it's really MLB The Show. Like it's really. So you're right. Yeah, there's really not that many casual
Right, right.
pick 'em up sports games to just play. Like, and there used to be like tennis. There used to be like
Tennis
you know
and
what I
shit,
mean?
yeah.
Like there's really none of that.
Just some random Tiger Woods golf.
Tiger Woods golf. Yeah, there's really none of that shit anymore. For me, it would be cause cause now thinking about it, it would be like those pick 'em up sports games.
Yeah.
You know, like the NFL volumes, like you said, NFL Street. There was Blitz at a time,
Blitz,
and shit
yep.
like that. Kind of, you could just go in and just like, don't even think about like a franchise mode,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
just, I'm gonna just play a fucking game and just beat you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I feel like FIFA though, still has that arcadey feel though. You know, because you could just pick up FIFA and like, how do I kick? Oh, you just know you have to move the dude. Like, how do you kick and pass? If you kind of learn that in FIFA,
Right.
if you're not one of those FIFA addicts, you could like get by and have some fun. I would say, just more. It's hard to say because I just feel like I just say the same shit over and over, but like, just more IPs, just taking more risk. I personally don't want to see one player story games kind of just get lost. Like with, I feel like one player action adventure like platformer games are like, I feel like they're not being taken as serious as they used to be. Like character development, like having a character, like having 3 games, like a character going from this to that, like in 3 games, like getting those 3 games where we actually grow with the character. You know what I mean? And like, I can't wait till the second one comes out, and the third one. And then like possibly being the 4th, and then 10 years later they make the 4th game. Like I don't feel like there's any like much of those games.
Right.
Like, with the story and then along with the dope gameplay to go along with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we were just talking about Spider-Man, but Spider-Man is a character we know. Spider-Man's had games. There's been 3, 4 Drake's Uncharted. There's been God knows how many God of Wars.
Mm-hmm.
Like a game like Horizon Zero Dawn is like refreshing because it's like, oh god, like at least there's another game. It's different. You know what I mean? But then like you need more. Like Red Dead Redemption, that's already a franchise we had. Star Wars did a dope thing by introducing us to this character. Like it's really really awesome. I do personally wish that they had like DLC by now though. You know what I mean? Like another extra storyline, like easily. I don't know if they were thinking like, is it gonna work with the play? Is it not? I don't know. I know like Star Wars, they're a whole team of die-hard nerds. You know what I mean? I respect it. I love it. I'm a nerd myself, but they're die-hard nerds. Like they kind of like probably like got into their own head a little bit and they didn't really let it loose. You know what I mean? Like it easily could do right now. But I just want to see more of those IPs, those risks, and developing those characters. Show me some new characters. Introduce me to my son's next Kratos.
Yeah.
My son's next Drakes. Like to my nephews and my niece's next Laura Croft.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like where are those at? Or does the next generation think, well, Kratos was the one you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, let them like, yo, this blah 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 with fucking a razor on his elbow, like he's lit. You know what I mean? Just something else that I'm like, oh, like this is your Kratos then. There was a character like I had named Kratos who was doing wild shit like this. Okay, let me watch. You know what I mean? Let me watch you fuck shit up as him. You know what I mean? So I think I'm waiting for that next, those next characters to come out and like now introducing, I remember like watching the E3 where Kratos was introduced, like how they introduced him was like he was a fucking Hall of Fame player, like or starting center. Like this is Kratos. Kratos, is born. You're just like, oh shit, who the fuck is Kratos? This thing is bad. You know what I mean? And when Drake's came out, this is Drake. He's a treasure hunter. You know what I mean? It's just like, oh shit, who's this guy that's gonna lead me in the next 10 years of my life just gaming? Like I know there's gonna be 8 games in this nigga. You know what I mean? So more of those would be sick, man. You know what I mean? Like And I also wanted to ask you one question, another question too. We read the specs. Nob, you could answer because I'm asking too. PS5 or Xbox, or do you see yourself getting both?
I see myself getting a PS5 for sure because there's
Yeah.
already things that, to me, I already know they're gonna come out. There's already things I'm waiting for,
Good games.
and those are things that I'm like, okay, that's something I want to buy a PS5 for.
Xbox
for sure.
haven't released any games yet.
Yeah.
We don't really know what's.
I mean, they gotta go the route that Sony went. They gotta look at what studios they have under their belt, and they just need to say, all right, this is what you know.
Xbox did just pick up some good studios, man.
Did they?
So yeah, it could be some good games coming out, but who knows, man.
How come there's never been a Microsoft studio like, like Sony Entertainment of America, like Sony Santa Monica, like those are like studios that we know, like when they're about to drop a game, like Insomniac and Naughty Dog, when they're about to drop a game, it's like there's no way this shit's gonna be trash. Where are those studios for like where?
Well, they just got it. Well, I mean, to me,
Where are they?
It seems to me that those studios that were there during the PS3 era were just studios that Sony invested in to say, look, we just want you to develop your best game.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all we want you to worry about. We don't want you to worry about nothing else. Just your best game. Take whatever license you want. Take whatever it is that you're going to do. That's what we want you to develop.
Yeah.
And so they got to do the same thing with Microsoft. Because it's not like they're not capable of producing a game with good graphics. They're capable of producing a game with good, playability. Just develop that game. Story all the way around. Story, everything.
Just develop it.
Yeah.
Just develop it. Let us, because again, you guys, all those characters are named like Drake's Uncharted and Kratos and so on. Lara Croft, you want to date back to, those are all Sony characters. Like where are the Xbox characters?
Yeah.
Like Nintendo has Mario and Luigi. And you go on and on.
Well, they had Gears, but now at this point, it seems like Microsoft has been worried more about cloud play, because I could play a lot of I could play Gears 5 on my PC right now.
Yeah.
Before it was like, okay, Gears 1 was going to come out exclusively for Xbox, and then it kind of dripped onto the PC a little later.
Yeah.
And so now they just have to kind of go back to the drawing board and look, what are we going to develop? Like Gears was huge because it was like, now we have Halo, and now we got this other game where you have to kind of think a little bit more strategically to say, I want to take down this enemy. I want to do this. I want to go through it this way. I could saw somebody in half, or I could take them out from 50 yards away.
Yeah, take 50 yards away. Yeah. That was one of the things I loved about Gears. I guess what we're just trying to say is, in my in a nutshell, it's just develop.
Yeah.
Just take it back to straight developing.
Yeah.
From the story, from the characters, and let them grow. Just don't give us one character and they have one game and then that's it.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Let them grow. At least give them 2 games. You know what I mean? Develop the story. Because even in the first game isn't enough. Because we know when you're telling a story, you're making a game or you're making a movie or making whatever the case. There's so much more in your head about the characters. You can't even get it all out in the first one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There is a number 2 in your head.
Yeah.
Shit, probably even a number 3.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So let them develop and go back to just developing. You know what I mean? Just the characters and just everything we love so much about those IPs when they come out. Yeah. It's it's about to be a brand new experience where I know I'm gonna be playing this character and this story with this style game and you know what I mean, for the next few years.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, I was gonna say, I hate to cut you off, but
no, you're fine.
Yeah.
No, we're good. Yeah, no, I mean, we're good, Dev. We're good.
Okay.
I want to thank you guys for tuning in. This will be episode 4 of the rotation. Make sure you guys subscribe to the Matt Studios YouTube page. You can find all the episodes of the rotation. The last episode, I had a few people listening, told me that Kobe Bryant episode was pretty dope. Make sure you guys tune in to Nights with Waifu and also Radio Geonosis. All those podcasts are out of Matt Studios. I want to thank Dev for coming through.
Oh, yeah, man.
Again, guys, this is a current event podcast. I'm actually going to call this episode that. Make sure you guys stay safe. Stay around your loved ones. Stay healthy. But from someone who is with a group of homies out of a hub, we're trying to do some shit. don't let this shit like just control you to where you're not like handling the shit you want to handle. You still got to live life. You know what I mean? We all know that. You know what I mean? So stay safe, stay healthy, like we all said, and we'll see you guys later, man. Take care.
Yeah, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I left Karina without the car. So
Oh no, you're good, bro.